Hi grades 3, so today we are looking at lesson 11. Once you're done, so if you're following this along, once you're done this video and the exercise that goes with it, please check off lesson 11. Okay, so in our lesson 11 today, we have to practice 4C. It is page 81. And I'm going to do 3 questions with you today, and then you get to go ahead and do the rest of the exercise. Okay, so let's get started, and I am going to look at, so in our column A, I'm going to do 4, which is 304 divided by 6. Okay, so this will give you a review on how to do long division. And the second question I will do is 513 times 7. So this is going to give us a review on how do we multiply. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I will pick number 9 in our word problems, and I'll do that question with you. Okay, so let's get started, and this is practice 4C. I am looking at page 81 of your pink textbook. Okay, so let's get started, and we have our question. So right over here, we have 304 divided by 6, right? So again, you can use your multiplication sheet, but just so you know, your times table sheet, sorry, and you should be well aware of your 6 times table by now. But if you're not, that's okay. You have this sheet, you can practice your times tables every single day. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's ask ourselves, well, is 3 big enough for me to divide it by 6? No, it's not. So therefore, I have to combine my 3 and my 0, which gives me a 30, right? So it becomes 30. Now let's ask ourselves, well, in 6 times table, how many 6s would make 30? And since I know my times table, or even if I don't, I can go to my sheet and I can look at, do I see anything that is 30 or close to? And there is, 30 is a multiple of 6. So how many 6s make 30? 5 6s make 30. So I go ahead and I write my yellow 5, this whole number, 5, up at the top, because 5 6s would make 30. Then I go ahead and I multiply these two numbers, right? So 5 times 6 gives me 30, and I write down 30, then I have to subtract. So 30 take away 30 gives me 0. Then I can bring down my 4. I write my 4 down. Now, is 4 big enough for me to divide it by 6? It's not. So therefore, my remainder, forgetting one more important thing. Because I brought down this 4 and I can't do anything with it, so what am I going to do? I'm going to put a 0 at the top. Okay, then I go ahead and my remainder is 4 and my quotient is 50. And I'm done my question. Okay, now let's go ahead to our multiplication question. So multiplication question, I'm looking at column D. So I took this question out of your practice, column D, and it is question 3. Okay, so column D, question 3. 513 times 7. So 7 times 3 gives me 21. I write my 1 down, I carry my 2 over. So I'm done multiplying my 7 to my 1s. Now I need to multiply my 7 to my 10s. So 7 times 0 gives me a 0 plus 2. So I would have 2 here, right? Then I go ahead and multiply my 7 to my hundreds. So 7 times 5 gives me 35. So when I multiply 503 to 7, my answer is 3,521. Okay, now let's go ahead and do question. So we should do question 9. Okay, since this side is clear, I'll just erase this one. Okay, let's go ahead and do question 9. from our word problems. Okay, so I'm going to read the question. I want you to follow along as I read the question. So let's get started. And it says, there were 7 boxes of blue pens and red pens. So there's 7 boxes of blue and red pens. There were 12 pens in each box. If there were 36 red pens, how many blue pens were there? Okay, so let's draw a picture to help us. So how many boxes are there? There are 7 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so there are red and blue pens in each of these boxes, right? And how many? So it says there were 7 boxes of blue and red pens. There were 12 pens in each box. So let's go ahead and write 12 so we know there are 12 in each of these, right? Now they're saying if there were 36 red pens, how many blue pens were there? So we know there are 36 red. And there's a question mark for blue. Now for us to find out how many blue pens are there, we actually need to find out, well, how many pens we have in total. Okay, we know that there are 12. Should I go ahead and should I add 12 and then this 12 and this 12 and this 12 and this 12 and this then this? Wouldn't that be a long process? So I can go ahead and I can actually quickly multiply. So how many boxes do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 boxes, and in each of these boxes I have 12 pens. So I can go ahead and I can actually multiply my 12 to 7, and that will give me the total number of pens, so red and blue. Okay, so it will give me the total number of blue and red pens. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply. 7 times 2 gives me 14. I carry my 1. 7 times 1 gives me 1, plus this one at the top. So 7 times 1 gives me 7 and 8. So how many pens are there altogether? 84 pens. Now for us to find out, well, how many blue pens are there, we do have the number for red pens. We have the total number, so 84 total, right? We need to find out, well, how many blue pens do we have? So what do? We take our total and we subtract our total and our red. So here we go. 84 take away 36, right? I cross it over. This becomes a 14. This becomes a 7. So I have 14 take away 6 gives me 8. And 7 take away 4 gives me 7 take away 3 gives me 4. So I have, how many blue pens do I have? I have 48 blue pens. So there are 48 blue pens, period. And I am now done my question. So grades 3, I'm gonna have you go ahead and finish the rest of the exercise. Okay, so it is practice 4C, page 81. And I will see you next time for our next exercise.